and she's assisted by Aaliyah Velez, his daughter. So let's give attention to Brother Tolentino.
Lee, I'm glad we started going through the New World Translation as part of our family worship. It's amazing what the brothers have done with our new Bible. It gives us a wealth of information to help us personally and out in the ministry, right?
Yes, I definitely agree. And I like the question at the beginning. It really helps me a lot.
All right, well, let's go ahead and turn to page 9 where we left off last week. Remember, I asked you to read and think about the 4 scriptures on that page. I wanted us to talk about how these 4 scriptures can help us to learn about Jehovah. Which one would you like to go over first?
Well, I really liked Romans 1 verse 20.
Okay, well, why don't you read that for us?
Okay. That reads, His invisible qualities are clearly seen from the world's creation onward, because they are perceived by the things made, even His eternal power and Godship, so that they are inexcusable.
All right. So what did you appreciate about that scripture?
Well, it made me think about my photography. When I'm looking through all my nature pictures I've taken, I always think about how great of an artist Jehovah is. Of course, I cannot see Jehovah in human form, but when I take the time to look and meditate on his creation, I can see Jehovah and how powerful and wise he is to have created all of these marvelous things. So when I read the scripture, it helps me to appreciate the fact that I definitely can see Jehovah's power in his creation.
You know, that's right, Aaliyah. By observing Jehovah's extraordinary works, we do become more acquainted with him and his personality. Aaliyah, you should be proud of yourself. Only Jehovah can help you to see things that way. It just goes to show me that, you know, you've been doing what 1 Timothy 4:15 asks us to do. And I'm going to read that scripture, and then I want you to tell me how that benefits you, okay? It says, ponder over these things, be absorbed in them, so that your advancement may be plainly seen by all people.
Well, it's just like being in school. I really want to have good grades, and in order to have that happen, I have to do all my daily lessons. I have to take notes, and I have to set time aside to study in order to learn the subject and get good grades. And that 1 Timothy 4:15, it teaches me that if I want to learn about Jehovah, it's like being in school. I have to be studying Jehovah's Word daily and meditating and be absorbed in them to really learn about him and continue growing spiritually.
Exactly. We have to regularly study Jehovah's Word, ponder over them, and be absorbed in them. And Leah, just like in school, you know, we have books, we have computers, and we can, you know, study from home. But when you're in school, you're in a certain setting. And it's the same thing when learning about Jehovah, whether you're doing personal study or family study, we want to take that seriously. But there's something else that's really important. Where can anyone who wants to learn about Jehovah go to learn about it?
At our meetings. And that's what Hebrews 10:25 tells us. It tells us not to forsake our meetings together. And that includes our Kingdom Hall meetings, assemblies, and conventions.
That's right. We need to be at our meetings. We get the opportunity to praise and worship Jehovah and also associate with other worshipers of him. So being at our meetings is important, an important way in which we can learn about Jehovah and also draw closer to him. So let's go ahead and look at our last scripture on page 9. That's in James 1:5. And this scripture is really going to help us. I'll let you read that, okay?
Okay. That reads, If any one of you is lacking in wisdom, let him keep asking God, for he gives generously to all and without reproaching, and it will be given him.
So what does that tell you?
Well, it tells me that I need to be praying to Jehovah, asking him to help me have an understanding. And I recently read in a Watchtower that wisdom is a practical application of knowledge. So in order to better understand Jehovah and his word, I need to be asking him for wisdom through prayer.
That's absolutely right. We should keep on asking Jehovah in prayer for faith and also for understanding. And by doing this, Aaliyah, we draw ever closer to Jehovah. Prayer not only helps us to better understand Jehovah, but it serves as a protection because we learn what pleases him and also what displeases him. So let's sum it all up. We read 4 scriptures that tell us about how we can learn more about Jehovah. Number 1, seeing Jehovah through his creation. Number 2, by a regular study of Jehovah's Word, pondering and also being absorbed in it. Number 3, attending our meetings. And then 4, asking Jehovah for understanding through prayer. So then next week, we will go over question 3, okay? Who wrote the Bible?
Okay, sounds good.